Tung Chau is one of the most unique and interesting islands in Hong Kong's territory. It is incredibly remote and isolated from the rest of Hong Kong, and it takes a 1.5-hour ferry just to get there. It is so far away that the Chinese mainland is much closer to the island than the Hong Kong mainland, and so is much more clearly visible than the rest of Hong Kong. Because of its distance from Hong Kong, cell service is virtually non-existent, and roaming passes for mainland China are required to be able to communicate on Hong Kong phone lines, especially on the eastern side of the island. Even television and radio signals can only be picked up from the Chinese side. Tung Chau is located on the easternmost edge of the Hong Kong maritime boundary. It is a small island with an area of only 1.16 square kilometers. Tung, meaning east, is commonly added to the name Ping Chau of the island since it shares the name with Ping Chau Island off the coast of Lantau. It is named Ping Chau, which literally means flat island, since its highest point is only 48 meters above sea level. Tung Chau is unique in Hong Kong because of its geology. The island is the only major island in Hong Kong made up of sedimentary rock, which is rock made up of the natural sedimentation of material over time. This is in contrast to most of Hong Kong's land, which is made up of igneous rocks formed from volcanic processes. This makes Tung Chau home to some of the most spectacular siltstone formations, wave-cut platforms, and cliffs, which are very rarely found elsewhere in Hong Kong. Some of the notable geological features include Cham Keng Chau, literally chopped neck island, a piece of rock which has broken away from the rest of the island due to weathering and erosion. Another rock formation is Ma Liu Shui, literally a dragon descending into water, a wave-cut platform shaped like a dragon's back. Tung Chau is also home to natural beauty. The area is a marine park because of its marine life, including its coral, which houses up to 60 different species of coral in its waters. It is also famous for its rock pools, in which reside many forms of marine wildlife, such as sea urchins and crabs. The island is also home to a huge number of butterflies, especially in the winter seasons. Tung Chau used to be home to a sizable village population of around 3,000 people, making their living from fishing and farming, then later selling their produce to markets in Tai Po and Xiaoyuchong. Then, during the Japanese occupation of Hong Kong, the island was used as a strategic military base for transportation by Allied soldiers. Unfortunately, after the Korean War and tensions between the US bloc and the USSR bloc, trade between Communist China and colonial Hong Kong was terminated. This, in addition to the depletion of fisheries in the surrounding waters, caused many villagers to move to the city. By the 1970s, only a few people remained on the island, and it is now estimated that the island's population is only 8 people. However, some villagers return during the weekends to open shops to cater for tourists that visit the island on the weekend ferry, the sole ferry service for the island. Because of this decline, there are numerous small villages and hamlets on the island that remain abandoned. The island even had its own dialect, the Ping Chau dialect, which is no longer spoken by many people. The island has a temple dedicated to Tin Hau, built in 1765, and a temple dedicated to Tam Kung, the Tam Tai Sin Temple, built before 1877. The ferry is operated by Chau ferry service on weekends and runs from Ma Liu Shui, near the Chinese University of Hong Kong. It is the most expensive ferry in Hong Kong, with a round trip costing $90 and taking 3 hours to complete. However, in spite of this, the ferry almost always runs full, as many local tourists are drawn to the island's geological and natural beauty. Tung Chau has been designated as a site of special scientific interest, is part of the Plover Cove Extension Country Park, the Tung Chau Marine Park, and the Hong Kong Global Geopark. I encourage anyone interested to visit Tung Chau, since no strenuous walking is required to see these gorgeous landscapes, and the paths are well maintained and signed. The Ma Liu Shui ferry pier can easily be reached from University Station on the East Rail Line, which is about 10 to 15 minutes by foot. Google Maps directions to see the island's top sites list will be in the description.